Hi everyone, I'm Theodore Henry, your guide through this edition of Jamaica Magazine. Thanks for joining me. So what's in store for you today?
We learned from some basic English and maths.
It teach me like to hold a hammer the right way.
You'll get details of a program to improve the numeracy, literacy and vocational skills of unattached youth, plus tips for first-time university students. Those and more after the news and other bits of information you can use.
Yes, the official start of the 2015-2016 school year is upon us and everything is in place. Tune into a national broadcast from the Education Minister, Reverend Ronald Thwaites, on schools' preparedness and the way forward. That's a national broadcast by Education Minister Reverend Ronald Thwaites this Sunday, September 6 on this station.
Good day, I'm Carrie Ann Smith and this is your JIS News for Friday, September 4. The nation's boys are showing significant improvement in literacy according to the results of the 2015 Grade 4 Literacy Test. On Thursday, Education Minister Reverend Ronald Thwaites announced that the nation achieved mastery in literacy, including improvement in the results for boys.
To jump to 80.3 is very significant. When we do well, we must celebrate it. Yes? And we must celebrate those who are doing well and trying hard, and that is what is represented in these figures.
Girls, meanwhile, achieved mastery of 92.5%. Overall literacy average in this year's sitting was 86.5%, 1.5% higher than the 2015 target of 85% mastery. Meanwhile, for the Grade 4 numeracy test, students achieved 65.7% mastery this year, which is an 8.1 percentage point increase over last year's 57.6%. The 85% numeracy target for Grade 4 students was moved from 2015 to the year 2018. The Carmel Primary School in Westmoreland, which lost its administrative block to fire Tuesday night, will be up and running for the official start of the school year on Monday, September 7. The Education Minister says the necessary alternatives have been put in place to ensure this.
I pay tribute to the zeal of the Moravian Church that sponsors the school, to Mrs. Daly, the principal, and to the entire school board, which, along with the ministry's regional office, have made alternative arrangements for school to be in operation on Monday morning. We're not going to miss a beat at Carmel or anywhere else.
Minister Thwaites was speaking at a back-to-school press conference on Thursday. And still on education, 41 tertiary students have received scholarships to offset the cost of their education for the 2015-2016 academic year. Thanks to the Portia Simpson Miller Foundation, the scholarships totaling $8.5 million were presented to the students on Thursday.
Do not let anything stand in your path in terms of your education. Education first. I remember some of you, your parents are making a serious sacrifice.
Work will start next week to rehabilitate the Forum Bridge on the Port Henderson Road in Portmore, St. Catherine. On Wednesday, Transport and Works State Minister Richard Azan signed a $27 million contract for the 6-month project. The National Works Agency is managing the project, while Quality Henderson Plus Contracting Company will be doing the work.
The period for the construction is 6 months, but the bridge will be closed for 3 months, and during the 3 months the National Work Agency will be putting in a detour road, also that they're putting up, when we put in a pedestrian walkway that you can walk across while construction is taking place.
The Petro-Caribe Summit, slated for this weekend, will explore the development of economic zones, strengthening of commercial opportunities, improved airline connectivity, and other issues to strengthen relations among participating countries. 15 of the 18 participating countries have been confirmed for the summit, which will take place at the Montego Bay Convention Center tomorrow. Venezuelan ambassador to Jamaica, Maria Jacqueline Mendoza Ortega, says the discussions will also focus on the improvement of oil refineries in the countries.
We had a joint companies in all the countries of Petrocaribe, PDVSA, and the oil companies in each country has a joint venture and joint companies. And we need to improve these companies. We need to see the possibility to upgrade refineries and another kind of thing, no?
Ambassador Ortega was speaking at a GIS think tank on Thursday. She said outcomes from the summit would be guided by a political declaration documenting issues and areas of cooperation with each country under the Petrocaribe arrangement. And finally, as Jamaica celebrates 50 years of diplomatic relations with Venezuela, it will symbolically open the Simon Bolivar Cultural Center in downtown Kingston on Sunday. The center will host a permanent exhibition of the Spanish liberator, including excerpts of his famous letter of Jamaica. Executive Director at the Institute of Jamaica, Anne-Marie Bonner, says the center will strive to follow the principles of Simon Bolivar, which was of integration and the unification of Latin America.
That aspect of his career is very important, and it's those principles and those ideas that we will be exposing in the first round of the exhibition.
Ms. Bonner says the center will also offer cultural exchanges between Caribbean and Latin American countries. Further cooperation with Venezuela will come in the form of Spanish teachers for the center and books for the library. And that's it for GIS News Today. I'm Carrie Ann Smith. Thanks for watching.
Best thing right now in the country, helping youths got pre-dismiss. It's not easy for a youth who is not working proper sum of money to send himself to art or any institution. So CSJP now funding you, because when more time them tell you the figure, you know, miss, how much it costs, we could find that amount of money. So what they are doing, miss, wonderful. In our community, you might have section which divided up. So when all of us now start to go to class together, miss, starting, you have person we are going to sit left, some are going to sit right. But you see, by weeks and weeks after, all of us just come as one, miss. You even start running both together, miss. When you start know a thing now, it's different from when you're not knowing. Because growing up, I can always hear people say, don't go there, so don't go there, so. Alright, but knowing each other now, miss, you really see that it is not as our people put it at times. It's different.
The Citizen Security and Justice Program, CSJP, an initiative of the Ministry of National Security, promoting peace and building communities while empowering the lives of unattached youth one day at a time.
You just heard it straight from the proverbial horse's mouth. The Citizen Security and Justice Program is transforming the lives of unattached youth. Twin that program with initiatives being carried out by Operation Friendship and the Jamaica Foundation for Lifelong Learning, and you get a powerful undertaking that can turn a bleak afternoon into one filled with sunshine.
Instead, I'm a little woman, walk up and down. I can't just know, say, yeah, wake up in the morning, I'm gone, at school, gone do something.
We learned from some basic English and maths.
It's a wonderful experience dealing with the student from the inner city.
Positive reviews from participants in a program to boost literacy, numeracy, and vocational skills. It's part of efforts to achieve strategic priority number 4 on government's agenda, human capital development, building the capacity of individuals so they can effectively contribute to the nation's growth. The Ministry of National Security through the Citizen Security and Justice Program CSJP has been working with non-government organization Operation Friendship as well as the Jamaica Foundation for Lifelong Learning JFLL to offer remedial training to persons in vulnerable communities. CSJP, which targets unattached youth in volatile communities, recruits the youngsters. Operation Friendship facilitates the training at its institution, and JFLL provides the math and English teachers.
To deliver a 10-month pre-vocational program, which was aimed at 1, improving literacy levels, as well as their social skills with minimal exposure to general construction.
Using aspects of the constant practicing teaching method, classwork, assignments, tests, and projects, students were prepared for the Hard Trust entrance exam. If successful, they would move on to CSJP's vocational program, which provides advanced skills training at Hard Trust NTA.
Okay, today we're going to be talking about synonyms. Have you ever heard the word synonyms before?
Kind and generous.
Vacant, empty.
Messy and dirty.
You had to work from the basic letter sounds and stuff onto the other areas of literacy. It was my first time teaching adults, so the transition was a bit difficult, but I mean, I got into it. The guys made me feel comfortable, and so it has been good.
Class, what are we going to do today?
Change decimal to percentage.
What are we going to do?
Change decimal to percentage.
It's fun when teacher teach about percentage and them things, and teach in a like a tricky way for do it.
Students are interested in learning, right, and they try their best to maintain discipline and stuff like that.
And Mr. White is a living testament to what can be achieved if one is disciplined. Having been a participant in the CSJP, he completed his studies in primary education at the Jamaica University and is now empowering other young people. Administrators of the CSJP's pre-vocational training program worked tirelessly to educate and train the youngsters as they acted on strategic priority number 4 on government's list.
Many of them felt very stigmatized, and many of them had a low self-esteem, which resulted from the fact that they were unable to read at levels that they should.
But after intense work, a shocking revelation. 22 of the 25 students who took the Hard Trust entrance exams were successful, paving the way for them to move on to higher heights.
I feel overwhelmed. I say yes. I achieve what I come for. That was the aim, to pass the test. And I say yes, I did it.
I went to school from 2005, and I doesn't take up a book at home. And this program made me take up book and show interest of doing some work.
I think the success can be attributed to the motivation, to the quality of the instructors that we had, to the fact that the youngsters had to do the work which was necessary. We were able to come up with a new design for the syllabus, which really sort of focused on what had to be done in order to get them through the exams.
We are going to a next level, construction, getting a skill.
But the participants already have a rudimentary understanding of general construction, which will give them an edge when they begin CSJP's vocational program, Advanced Skills Training at Hard Trust NTA.
It teach me like to hold a hammer the right way.
You don't hold the hammer down in the neck, you hold the hammer at the end, and you swing your wrists.
Well, my mindset is to inform other young men outside, in and outside the community, just to show that we get off the road and can come down at Operation Friendship and get it further.
I'm that star up in the sky, I'm that mountain peak up high. Hey, I made it, I'm the world's greatest.
To celebrate the achievement of the youngsters, a graduation ceremony was held at the offices of the JFLL. The results of a survey, the Learner Performance Feedback, indicated that the program did much more than help participants pass the Hard Trust entrance exam.
87% indicated that their team building skills have improved. Excellent. 91%, I want to listen to this, 91% indicated that their conflict management skills have improved.
I'm that star up in the sky, I'm that mountain peak up high. Hey, I made it.
You can't really look at persons from the inner city and say they're not worth it or they can't make it. If you as a teacher just do what you have to do, teach them, love them, just talk to them about reality and encourage them.
Come to Operation Friendship. We are willing, we are able, we have the manpower, we have the space, and we have the motivation to help wherever it is possible.
And I think that many of them see it now as a launching pad for greater things to do with their future.
So CSJP, Operation Friendship, and JFLL have been working together to achieve government's strategic priority of human capital development, improving numeracy and literacy levels of unattached youth while developing their social and vocational skills, building their capacity to make them employable and marketable so they can contribute to national development.
World's greatest.
Yes, the official start of the 2015-2016 school year is upon us and everything is in place. Tune into a national broadcast from the Education Minister, Reverend Ronald Thwaites, on schools' preparedness and the way forward. That's a national broadcast by Education Minister, Reverend Ronald Thwaites, this Sunday, September 6 on this station.
It's not only the little ones that are looking forward to school next week. Those at the tertiary level are also counting down the days, right? Yes, man, roll with the punches. Tips to make it through college, next.
Students going off to colleges and universities in the upcoming school year, you're probably excited, scared, or having mixed feelings. You'll be greeted with an entirely new campus, an entirely new set of faces, and an entirely new set of courses.
You know, the move from high school to university can be a culture shock. It's a new environment, new friends, it's just new everything.
My fears about college were that I'll be sidetracked.
College it has different persons here from different backgrounds, so you really don't know what to expect or who, you know, you're speaking to.
I can guarantee you'll be entering an entirely new world. But don't be dismayed. I've carefully prepared 8 useful tips just for you so that your journey through university is as easy as ABC. Tip number 1, attend orientation. So you're in, accepted to the tertiary school of your choice. Next step, head to classes, right? Not so fast. Before hitting the books, there is one important step all first-year students should take.
It's best for you to orientation. You are given opportunity to go across the campus, to visit the library, to visit the different food areas, to know where your faculty is, where you find the classrooms. So when you come on the first day of school, you will not be lost like I was.
Tip number 2, dress simply. Some tertiary institutions, such as teachers' colleges, may ask you to wear uniforms to school, but for most universities, there is no stipulated dress code. That, however, does not mean anything goes.
Oh, it's very important to dress simply. Heels would not be a good idea if you need to get from point A to point B and cover large distances. Jewelry, you know, should be simple and to a minimum, because you also don't want to attract, you know, thieves to your person. And you also want to be cool and comfortable as you walk through the campus.
Tip number 3, form positive student-lecturer relations. When you get to this level, the training wheels come off, so to speak.
Lecturers know they don't teach you as, you know, 1 + 1 is 2. Sometimes they give it to you as it is, and it is your job to go and find out more about the given area.
That means that knowledge will not be spoon-fed to you, and the lecturers won't be spending endless hours ensuring you're getting the most out of your university experience. That's your job. Each lecturer is likely to have office hours where you can have one-on-one discussion with him or her to clarify any issues you may have about the course. Additionally, some lecturers give students their contact information so they can consult with them outside of the office hours if necessary. Tip number 4, study, study, study. At college, it's imperative that you not only study, but study early and avoid overnight cramming before exams. You should always take detailed notes during lectures and tutorials so that you can read them over daily.
It's very important to study because at the end of the semester you have your end of year exams, which is really important.
It might be helpful to form productive study groups with peers and to find a suitable place on campus away from all the noise and distraction to study alone. Tip number 5, eat right. Living the university life can result in all sorts of unhealthy eating habits. Unavoidably tempted to by the many offerings of fast food meals and no adult supervision to keep you on track, your nutrition is solely your responsibility. Try to regularly cook healthy meals and consume as much vegetables and fruits as possible for a balanced diet. Tip number 6, practice safety measures. As the school year progresses, you may eventually have late-night classes and studying on campus.
Ensure you have a friend with you. That's one main thing, and ensure that persons know where you're going to study or when you're coming from class late, stuff like that. So keep a friend informed about your whereabouts at night.
Tip number 7, manage your time well. Too often we see students get carried away at college. They want to attend every party and social event on campus and even those off campus. Some get so involved in clubs and societies that they don't have enough time to sleep, do laundry, study, visit home, do assignments, or even eat properly.
The balance is to be found in making sure that you attend classes, review your material, the academic material, and you set aside some time as well to enjoy those other co-curricular activities that will give you the roundedness that we desire in all our students.
Tip number 8, know thyself. Finally, going to college means that many of you will be off on your own for the first time, making your own decisions and setting your own agendas. But try to keep in mind the good morals and values that you learned from parents and relatives and remain true to yourself.
When you come to university or to college or wherever you go, I would tell them, just be yourself, be who you are. Don't try to change for the world, for anybody.
So there you go, guys. 8 important tips to keep in mind as you go off to college. Follow them and I'm sure they'll make your journey a lot better. All the best.
Got to be true to myself. Got to be true to myself.
So by now, students should be ready for school on Monday morning. But what about the administrators? Is the Ministry of Education ready?
It's that time of year again. Schools will soon be reopened. Or, as Jamaicans love to say, your free paper bun. While parents and students are busy prepping, the Education Ministry is assuring that from their end, everything's cool for back to school.
All secondary schools' accounts have been funded with the first tranche of the tuition fees and maintenance grants. Primary schools have been funded with their first term grants. We are pleased this year to indicate that the maintenance grants for the schools have been increased by 10%. Under the National Textbook Loan Scheme and the Primary Textbook Program, the Ministry of Education will provide this year will spend over $800 million on textbooks. The delivery of books to schools has started and will be completed by September 14, 2015. The ministry's approach this year has been slightly modified for books at the primary level, where some of our principals will be directly asked to pick up some of those books from the regional offices, and this is to ensure that the books are placed into the hands of the principals themselves and not necessarily to someone who may not pass on the packages to the principal for distribution to our students. The Ministry of Education School Feeding Unit, in collaboration with the Nutrition Products Limited, will continue to provide funds for the school feeding program to schools directly. While lunch will be provided for other children, over 130,000 of our early childhood cohort will also be provided with breakfast. Nutrition Products, of course, will commence the production and delivery of snacks to schools for the first week of the new school year.
Regarding our construction program, several high schools were targeted with regards to expansion of classrooms and other amenities.
The ministry will be procuring over 40,000 pieces of furniture for this year, and of course we will provide furniture for those schools that are in greatest need.
Our safety and security manuals have been reviewed, and those will be ready for distribution for the new school year. The ministry embarked on a special training of our deans of discipline. 109 deans were recently trained in the month of July, and they are ready for the new school year.
We have made arrangements with the National Water Commission to provide water to the schools which have tanks. I am informed that the Ministry of Education has an allotment for the purchase of tanks for those schools which are going to need them but do not now have water storage. And you should make sure that your school through the region is so noted so that we can try to do that within the limited time and the modest resources that we have.
So please feel free to contact our regional offices for any support that's required or any issues that you may have as it relates to the preparation for the new school year. We do look forward to an excellent school year, perhaps the best ever, and we call on the rest of Jamaica to support us in this regard.
The Petra Caribe Development Fund has been helping to transform the Jamaican landscape for over 9 years, expanding our roadways, modernizing our airports, facilitating the creation of jobs and providing academic scholarships, reshaping communities and improving sanitation facilities. The Petra Caribe Development Fund, moving beyond energy security. To find out more about the fund, call 960-9110 or visit their website, petracaribejm.org.
Fever, rash, joint pain and red eyes. All common signs of the Zika virus or ZIKV. Symptoms are usually mild, lasting anywhere from a few days to a week. Jamaica has no Zika cases, but if it gets here, it would only be transmitted by the Aedes aegypti mosquito. Don't give Zika a chance. Prevent the breeding of these pesky mosquitoes.
The use of oil, cooking oil, a little tip of cooking oil poured on the surface of the water suffocates the larvae and prevents them hatching out. So persons can do that.
And that's it for Jamaica Magazine on this busy Friday evening. But the relationship does not stop here. Keep up to date with other useful info at jis.gov.jm and keep sharing your comments via Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm or sound off on social media. I'm Theodore Henry, and this has been Jamaica Magazine. Thanks for staying with us. We'll see you again tomorrow.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.